Like, this is called the Pesky Report. Like,
welcome back to the Pesky Report. This is episode 613 of the Pesky Report, brought to you by Beyond the Monster. This episode of the Pesky Report is also brought to you by TJ Stats, advanced MLB stats and tools, including pitcher summaries, prospect rankings, and live pitch data. Head on over to tjstats.ca and use code PESKY. That's code PESKY, P-E-S-K-Y, for 25% off your first month. Once again, that is code PESKY at tjstats.ca. Not .com.ca. First things first, we do have to nip this a little bit in the butt, I guess. Nip it in the butt, I guess. So Hunter and I, starting next week, are going to be recording the minor league show on Tuesdays instead of Mondays. It won't change too much, but instead of getting the episodes on Tuesday mornings, like this episode, for example, if you want to listen to it that early, the episode will either be coming out like Tuesday afternoon / evening or Wednesday morning. So just keep that in mind. So that's going to be kind of the change coming. Nothing else is changing outside of that. But that is what's happening. So just a little reminder. Also, we're giving Hunter the day off on Monday. Hunter gets to rest for once. I mean, he already gets, at least he gets no minor league games on Mondays. But he doesn't have to, prep for this on Mondays at least. However, the one thing I will mention is it is going to probably take us to having separate episodes for like potential player interviews or whatnot. So we'll throw that out there. With that, though, I feel like that's the housekeeping. I think that's the housekeeping, Hunter. We're good on that? Cool, we're good. So yeah, just keep in mind if we have any player interviews or anything like that, those will probably be now separate from the minor league show. But hey, I guess you get extra minor league talk because I guess we don't have to condense our minor league talk anymore. It's 2 separate episodes. So Jake's gonna love us for that one. Moving on, we're going to be starting here with none other than Justin Gonzales. The news.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's some dogs barking. We got some dogs barking. Sorry about that.
Brown Breaker show.
Dogs barking in Portland.
No, so Justin Gonzales is getting promoted to Portland. Obviously, broken by a friend of the show, Andrew Parker. Hunter.
Indeed.
It was friend of the show, Andrew Parker. Look at him. But Justin Gonzales is going to Portland. Obviously, that was one of kind of the few, I guess, prospect moves that I feel like I don't want to say it was worth waiting for in terms of like, it's cool when anyone gets promoted, but I feel like this was one of the like Arias getting to Worcester obviously was like a one that everyone was kind of anticipating. I felt like this was another one of those ones where it's like, okay, it's going to happen at some point, but when's it going to happen? Finally happens now. I'll hand it over to you, Hunter, just kind of overall this year before we kind of get into this week. Just the year for Justin Gonzales. He's broken the top 100 lists. Nationally, it's been a very great year for him. Obviously, he's gone viral a couple times, good and bad. But what are your thoughts, kind of just on the year of Justin Gonzales so far?
Yeah, awesome year for Justin Gonzales, in my opinion. Another great week for him. 7 for 20, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. He stole 2 bases. He actually stole bases in back-to-back. Not at bats, but bad in the same sequence, I guess I'll say. I don't know exactly how to word that, but he stole second and then stole third. He hit 2 home runs in back-to-back at-bats in the final game of the series. Oddly enough, had, I guess, a viral moment this series. I didn't mean for it to go viral, but for some reason it's going viral. I posted a clip which what ended up being his last moment in high A. The final out of the game on Sunday was a ground ball to shortstop, and Justin Gonzales was playing first. And after he fielded or received the ball at first, literally the second he caught the ball, turned the hat backwards. He's walking with a limp. He untucks the shirt, just like exuding swag. And I posted the video. I didn't even say his name. I literally just put like, look at this man. The second they win, hat backwards, walk with a limp, untuck the jersey. How could you not possibly love him? And for some reason, it's going like just putting up crazy numbers. Like it's at like 500,000 views on Twitter. And just don't know why. Like, again, didn't even put his name. Like at no point in the thing does it say like Justin Gonzales. Doesn't say Boston Red Sox. Like that. It just genuinely just thought it would stay in like the Red Sox prospect bubble of just like the usual suspects of people that love Justin Gonzales, the usual people that interact with me. And for some reason it's people are like, oh, this guy is awesome. And it's another one of those things where it's like he just clearly has the it factor of like this is someone who, if the MLB is smart, if obviously it will also take him becoming a good major league player, but if
Also,
the MLB,
if that's a really tough question, if they're smart, that's a big question mark.
But if they're smart, if Justin Gonzales is a good major league player, he is like the most marketable dude in the world. Like, again, exudes swag, just a monster of a man, like 6'7", like has fun, hits 5,000-foot home runs, like good looking dude. Like, just it seems like it would just be so easy for them to market him. So just like he's gone again. Like he's in high A, he's gone viral like 10 times this year. Like it would be so easy for them to do things with him. But he's really kind of like answered a ton of the questions this year. Like again, he's listed at 6'5", 210, but all the people around the team seem to be saying that he's actually like 6'7", 240 pounds or whatever it is. And like there were questions of, can he keep the strikeout rate down? It's still under 20%. It's 18.7%. Wait, no. Yeah, it's 18.7%. Can he walk? It's 13.3%, which is very impressive. Last year, the big issue was he hit the ball on the ground too much, 57.4% of the time. He only hit the ball 21.6 fly ball rate. This year, 46.6% on the ground. That is a drastic improvement. 29.7% fly ball rate, drastic improvement. He's hitting the line drives a little bit better, 23.7, which is up from 21.6. So a slight improvement. Which the massive power. He only hit 4 home runs last year, and it was like the power was there, but again, he wasn't elevating the ball. This year, he's up to 17 home runs. So it was like, okay, we're seeing the power now that he's elevating the ball. And then there was like questions of the maturity was like the big thing. And we've seen some things. He was in the middle of a slump at one point this year, and he didn't run out a line drive. I think it was to like second base, and the line drive ended up getting dropped. And then he ended up getting like taken out of the game, and he didn't play, I think, for like 2 games after that. So like very clearly he was being disciplined, and not a big deal. Like Franklin Arias at one point was disciplined. He was like sat out for a game. He got taken out of a game and then sat out the next game. Like not a big deal. Something most young players go through, something veterans go through. Like earlier this year, Alex Bregman didn't hustle out a ground ball for the Cubs. You're going to see it with literally every veteran player ever. Wilson Contreras literally just got booed at Fenway Park for not hustling out a ground ball. Don't get me wrong. The dude's going through like 900
How many
injuries.
times did David Ortiz hustle out a ground ball?
Yeah, exactly.
How many times did Manny Ramirez hustle out a ground ball?
Well, man, let's not invoke Manny's name because
well,
Manny actually. My point is Manny actually did have like attitude issues. Like
that's true, but also too when you're that good, it's
yes. But my point being, like even veteran players will get frustrated when they're going through a slump. Like Alex Bregman was slumping, and it was like he was pissed off. And sometimes there's just like that lapse of judgment of like, damn it, I hit the ball on the screws and it went right to the second baseman. And it's like, Liam Carroll or whoever probably sat him down and was like, hey man, you can't be doing that. And it's like, it's really hard, especially in the minor leagues, because you don't have a veteran player to be like, hey, like he doesn't have Wilson Contreras or someone else. There's not really a ton of like veteran players. Willier Abreu is not really a veteran player, but like he doesn't have like a Wilson Contreras to sit him down and be like, hey, dude, you can't be doing that. Like we need you to hustle those plays out. So it's really just kind of on the coaching staff to sit him down and be like, you can't do that. And then obviously the big one was the brawl. And that is something that a lot of like the quote unquote like boomer fans they love to point out on the videos that I whenever I post like a home run video is like, he should get hit in the ribs next time because it takes too long around the bases. 20 seconds to jog around the bases after the homer.
Go slower.
Yeah. He should. And it's like, dude, he's a 19-year-old who just hit a 700-foot home run. Yeah, he should take 5 minutes around the bases. Like that was insane.
Too, not that he would get like hurt by going faster, but like wouldn't going faster technically increase the chance of you like somehow pulling a muscle or something, or
Kendrys
rolling your
Morales
ankle on a base, like
Kendrys Morales tearing his ACL on the walk-off home run.
Yeah, like remember when like Carlos Gomez sprint? Like a little bit different here, but like remember when Carlos Gomez like sprinted around the bases on homer? You know how bad that would have been had he like hurt himself. Just like,
yeah, but
it's not like that. Also, too, like you want to talk about people not like taking forever around the bases. Like, just go watch the World Baseball Classic. Like nobody gets upset about it.
And look how much the world loved the World Baseball Classic. It was good for baseball. But anyway, there was the brawl, and he famously slapped the living shit out of the catcher. And why would you fight him? He's 900 feet tall. And he then came back from the suspension. He hit a walk-off home run. He again took his time around the bases where he pointed at the jersey and he was screaming at his own dugout and he had fun. And it was like, that's very understandable. He just came back from a suspension and he hit a walk-off home run. Obviously, you're going to take your time around the bases there. But since that walk-off, I've noticed a very like a pep in his step when going around the bases. Like, not that he's all of a sudden sprinting around the bases, but he's gone from the 35-second home run trots and like the stopping at third base and taking the extra 15 seconds. Like he was literally stopping at third base and taking like an 8-second break at third base and like high-fiving Liam Carroll and taking his time and to just like a normal jog around the bases now. I have no intel on this, but I'm genuinely curious if, again, someone sat down with him and was just like, hey man, we love what you bring to the table. We love the energy. We love the enthusiasm. But like, you're way too important to the team. You're way too important to the organization for us to have you getting into fights and getting suspended and, causing these issues. So can you maybe just pick it up a little bit? And it's like, because there is a very noticeable difference. And me personally, I'm all for it. Like, take your time, have fun. You're playing a game, have fun. I have fun. Like Jeffrey Yan, he's pitching his balls off for the Mets right now. Like, celebrate every time you get a strikeout. If you're pitching well, do it, dude. I don't care. Again, you're Donnie Monegro. I love it. Celebrate every time you get a strikeout. Celebrate every time you hit a home run. I don't care. You're playing a game. Have fun. But it does seem like someone must have said something to him, or maybe he just decided himself, like, I don't really want to get suspended again, or maybe he felt like he noticed something. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a coincidence. But it does seem like he's picked it up a little bit. And even with the maturity stuff and he didn't run out a ground ball or a line drive to second base one time, I've never noticed a lack of hustle in the field. He's always sprinting after fly balls. He's always like, he made a play at first base the other day, and he like had to kind of go to deep foul ball territory, and he beat it, like sprinted out the guy at first base. Like it does seem like he's always busting his ass in the field. So I like, to me, the maturity stuff is overblown by people who just kind of see him celebrating home runs. And it's like, again, he's a 19-year-old kid who's very good at hitting baseballs very far. Of course, he's going to have fun. So I feel like he's answered all the questions of the elevating the ball. Big guys strike out a ton, and he's not doing that. He's continuing. He's drawing more walks than he did last year. And the maturity stuff has seemed to improve itself over the year, especially since the brawl. So I've been very impressed with everything. And I don't know if the promotion is an answer to any of that. Like, I don't know if this is a vote of confidence. It could also just be the fact that I don't have the number in front of me, but I'm pretty sure he's up over like 400 plate appearances in high A.
It's gotta be something like that.
Yeah, he has 422 plate appearances there this year, and he got a couple last year. He had 49 last year. So that's 471 plate appearances in high A. So it could also just be he has 471 plate appearances in high A, and he was putting up phenomenal. Like, he had a 391 on base percentage this year. Like, that's absurd. So it could just be, hey, you're killing it, and there's really no need for you to be there anymore. But either way, you have a guy who's going to be 19 for the rest of the year. He doesn't turn 20 until New Year's Eve. And like, this is, I think it was Coley who said it, that I don't know if he had heard it from someone or if it was just like him saying it, but it's like, the reason they didn't trade him the reason they viewed him as untouchable is because you don't want to be the team that trades who Justin Gonzales could be. Like, maybe he doesn't turn into this person, but like, what he could be is like, just it's terrifying what he could become. And it's like, the growth we've seen from him this year has just been so amazing. And yeah, I've been impressed with just about every aspect of him this year. He continuously shows off the arm. He's looked solid at first base. He's only played, I think, like 8 games there this year, but still, he's looked fine in the outfield. Like, he's very athletic for his size. He's a decent enough base runner. He's never really going to be anything special there. Again, he's a massive human being, so I don't expect it to be a big part of his game. But again, like, he doesn't strike out a ton. Like, whiff's not a big part of his game. It's not like going to be some huge problem, or at least it hasn't been yet. Like, obviously, Double A is going to be a big test for him. So I'm happy he's getting there now, and it's going to give him more time to adjust. But again, like, the walks have risen, and the power is so real, it's insane.
Yeah, and no one's even like the scare. Obviously, like, yes, he's moving up to Double A, but like, so like, this is going to be a very obvious statement. But like, he can only, like, he can get so much better. Like, and obviously, but like, I even mean it in the sense of like, shout out TJ Stats. Like, his pull air rate this year is only 42nd percentile. It's 12.1%. Like, with the power he has, like I think I mentioned it before, but like, the power he has, like, he starts pulling the ball in the air more. Like, you already thought he was scary. Like, just multiply that, right? He starts pulling the ball in the air. Like, and even then, like, I think, like, in some ways, like if you haven't seen him play a ton, I feel like, or you just see like the big homers, I feel like maybe you might feel a little bit, or you might get a little bit of a misrepresentation of what he is, because like this year, his in zone contact rate is 90th percentile. It's 88.1%. His whiff rate is 81st percentile. It's only 22.3%, right? This isn't a guy who is swinging and missing. Does he chase out of the strike zone? Like, yeah, is that his own swing rates? 30%? It's like, it's not nothing, but like it's not absurd either, right? And also too, like in some ways too, like when you put the bat on the ball like he can, because his bat to ball skills are like in some ways like somewhat underrated in a way, I think. And then obviously, like I said, you add the potential power. I mean, like I said, if he starts pulling the ball in the air, hello. But like I said, I think the bat to ball skills for him are something that a lot of people miss if they're not, like I said, if you're not watching him all the time, or you're not going to like a TJ Stats and actually trying to find out like what those are, or what, like I feel like you can miss some of that if you're only seeing the big homers and whatnot, because someone that big is like the stereotype kind of is like, obviously like Aaron Judge is the extreme version of it, but like someone that big, like you think of like a big guy, like I've trashed on him so many times, but like Joey Gallo, right? Where Joey Gallo like was a 200 hitter who hit 40 homers and struck out 50 million times, right? But like those couple of years where Joey Gallo was legitimately a 40 homer guy, he was good. But like, yeah, he had his flaws. Justin Gonzales doesn't have those flaws in the sense of like the bat to ball skills, like I said, are good, right? His in zone contact rate is really good. So like I said, I feel like that in some ways, like there can be a little bit of a misconception of him sometimes. And like I said, I think it comes with the body type as well. Also, like I said, doesn't help when like a guy like Aaron Judge is, the best hitter in baseball, maybe outside of this year, because Jordan's, basically the second coming of David Ortiz, in terms of, there's no DH even close to him. Like it's basically the last like 5, 6, 8, 9 years have been like Aaron Judge being the best hitter in baseball almost every year. Like, and obviously he's a massive human being, right? So those comps are going to be there in the sense of, oh, look, he's massive. Oh, look, Justin Gonzales is massive. Oh, but as we see with just players in general, like just because they have a similar body type doesn't mean they're going to be the same type of player, right? You look at pitchers, just because two pitchers throw 100 miles per hour doesn't mean they're the same type of pitchers, right? It's, there's differences. And I think that too, like, seeing him for what he is, like the potential is out the roof. And we mentioned a little bit, like around the deadline, like you don't want to be the team that trades, the Fernando Tatis before he becomes, what he was. You don't want to be the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers have been okay. It's not like the Dodgers have been fine, but like imagine if this Dodgers team had Yordan Alvarez. Yeah, with Shohei, they'd have to play him in left field, but like I think they could figure it out, right? Like, but like imagine the Dodgers with Yordan, right? like yeah, they traded him away when he was an A-ball, and like look what he became. But like at the same time, too, like you don't want to be that team, especially the Dodgers. Like I said, it hasn't hurt them; they're the Dodgers. But you don't want to be the team that does that. And Justin Gonzales is one of those guys where, trade deadline goes around with the Red Sox. They're probably like, the Red Sox probably didn't want to get rid of him. I mean, you consider all the pieces they moved in the Adley trade, which, as of note, Harold Rivas was included in that trade now officially as the player to be named later, even though he was originally reported to be in the trade. Then nope, he wasn't. It's a player to be named later, just for him to be that player to be named later. Great. We went on a real trip on deadline day with that, but they trade all those guys away, but they kept Justin Gonzales, right? I think it says something to like the Red Sox belief in him, because you don't trade away, Irons and Witherspoon, and Yazikar and Harold Rivas. You don't trade away 4 prospects, especially 3 of them who are near like top of your system in terms of rankings. You don't trade those 3 and choose to keep Justin Gonzales, because you don't believe in him. There's a reason they were willing to give up those guys, but they didn't want to include Justin Gonzales there, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if the Packers just who knows, right? But like in the terms of the trade they made, they didn't get rid of Justin Gonzales. Obviously, they weren't going to get rid of Arias in that sense, but like they kept Justin Gonzales. Justin Gonzales is the Red Sox number 2 prospect right now, right? And I think too that speaks to the belief the Red Sox have in him, right? They very easily could have sent him to Baltimore in the Adley deal. They didn't, right? And I think that's somewhat too also kind of speaks volumes as well.
I forget who said it. I need to start writing these things down because I feel like I do this a lot where I'm like, oh, I forget who said this. But I saw a good theory on Rivas being that it was basically the reason it was announced that it was Rivas and then it was like redacted and then it was like a week later like, oh, it's Rivas, was that it was basically like contingent on Rutschman coming back as soon as he did. Like basically they were like, yeah, we'll give you Harold Rivas. And then they were like, actually, let's see if Rutschman will be playing before September. Like if Rutschman's not back within 3 weeks, we're not giving you a prospect as good as Rivas. But if Rutschman's playing by, August 25th, sure, we'll give you him. But if we're not gonna get Adley Rutschman helping us down the stretch, then no, we're not giving you another good prospect, Like to me, that does make sense. Like we're not going to get like that's why it turned into player to be named later because then it was like, if we don't get him for a couple weeks, then we'll give you a lower tier prospect. But if he comes back in time, then you can get this very good prospect. But like, if he doesn't,
just kind
come
of a
back,
pain in the ass when they originally reported it wrong. Well,
yeah,
not wrong, but I guess like incorrectly reported it. It's sort of wrong.
Yes,
wrong,
because
but right at the same time.
Because it already felt like an overpay. And don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those people panicking. Oh, he's 1 for 17. Oh my God. It's Adley Rutschman. He's still the best defensive catcher in baseball, or like one of the best defensive catchers in baseball. And we've sat through a lot worse than a 1 for 17 stretch.
That is
like
true.
I'm
he's
too, going to
we
be
got
fine.
a Red Sox Adley card and MLB the Show. So like
there you go.
You also use the Red Sox theme team.
There you go.
There you go. Boom.
He's going to be fine. Like I'm very much not worried about that. But like it already did feel like they kind of overpaid for him a little bit, and it was like it helped a little bit that it was like, all right, at least they didn't give up Rivas, and then you're throwing him in anyway. Now it is a prospect in the FCL that's very much a lottery ticket, but still like that is a pretty highly touted FCL prospect. It also doesn't help that I haven't looked at his stats this week, but it doesn't help that Andy Azakar's first week last week was insane for them. Like he put up some massive numbers last week. I didn't see what he did this week, but that didn't help. And then also Witherspoon's first start was solid and Ianson's first start was very good. But again, whatever. Trade happened. I'm very happy to have Adley Rutschman here. I think he'll be very good, and we'll talk about Franklin Primera later. I'm still very set on I'm a one-track mind of Franklin Primera will be taking over for Adley Rutschman in 4 or 5 years, and that'll just be a beautiful thing. But yeah, the like you said, I think it's very telling that they were willing to give up all those prospects and that Justin Gonzales was seen as untouchable. And I completely agree with you that it's very you can always tell, and again, not that it's a bad thing. People have lives. Not everyone's nerds that can sit there and watch minor league games. But you can always tell when someone doesn't watch the games and just kind of sees highlights or hears someone talk or something. Or just sees like the profile and it's like, oh, this guy's 12 feet tall. He must strike out a lot. He must whiff a lot. And it's like, they'll see like the Aaron Judge comparison and they're like, oh, okay, so he has whiff in his game. And it's like,
Also,
Aaron
as if that's a bad thing either. Like, I think Aaron
also,
Judge is
yeah,
okay.
Oh no.
Like-
Oh, he's Aaron Judge like. Oh God. Oh, he's gonna win multiple MVPs. Oh no.
Like, as if that's like you're saying, oh,
He's gonna be
win,
one of the best right-handed
like
hitters
Aaron
of all
Judge,
time.
like, oh my
Uh,
God, if he's Aaron Judge, like, oh, I'm so scared. Like, the only thing I'm concerned maybe is he gets a bad injury because he runs into a wall too fast or something. Where there was the Judge toe injury, which also too, I will mention that toe injury, not funny because Judge got injured. Funny in the sense of it happened at Dodger Stadium. Of all the places it could happen.
Yes. Yeah.
Of all the places it could happen, you know. Just so happens to be Dodger Stadium. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Someone could, maybe should have been investigated. Maybe, Although to be fair, he's a massive human being and kind of, just broke the fence, kind of. So like, I don't know, but still, regardless though, if obviously the Aaron Judge comp is more so just because they're both really big human beings.
It's because they're big humans that hit the ball hard.
Yes, but like if you're complaining about swing because he's an Aaron Judge body type, or swing and miss because he's an Aaron Judge body type, like Aaron Judge, hell, even Giancarlo Stanton won an MVP. Like, what are we complaining? Like, what? Like, just because a guy has a certain body type, one, doesn't mean he's going to play that way, and two, swing and miss doesn't inherently mean you're bad. Like, a lot of guys swing and miss. I mean, what? Kyle Schwarber strikes out how much?
Right? Yeah, he's striking out an exorbitant rate, and no one cares because he hits a lot of home runs.
No one cares.
Literally, no one talks about it because they're just like, oh, there's Schwarber hitting another home run. It's like, oh, he went 1 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, but that one was a homer, so no one cares. They're just like, oh, we love Kyle from Waltham.
It's like, oh, he went 1 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, but he had a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th inning. And it's like, oh, who cares, right? It
also does help that everyone loves Kyle Schwarber.
Everyone
loves Kyle Schwarber.
That's also true. But like it is too, I mean, a little bit like a thing too, where it's like having having a weakness here or a weakness there isn't inherently bad. Also too, we talk about because he is a prospect and prospects are still developing. He doesn't turn 20 until December.
Yeah, like he's
can 19 the rest of the season. Like,
but my point being, with people kind of just like, oh, they're viewing him as like they just see the body type or whatever, and Aaron Judge and whatever it is, and they're just like, oh, well, he whiffs a lot. And I saw someone say how I forget what it was, but they said something like a 30% strikeout rate or something like that.
It was like 30% strikeout rate with like a 30 to 35 homer guy.
And it's like Aaron Judge, his the season where he played in single A and high A struck out 23.3% of the time. The season where he played in double A and triple A, he struck out what was it? 26.7% of the time. This year, where Justin Gonzales has played in just high A, he has struck out, what was it? Well, I forget what I said, like 19.7% of the time, 19.8% of the time, whatever it was. Like that's a lot better.
18.7% of the time.
18.7% of the time. That is a lot better than what Aaron Judge was doing in single A and high A.
This is also too also happens too, and like a little bit too. Like there's a different comparison. Any like shortstop that like struggles defensively in pro ball, it is always like, well, Derek Jeter in rookie ball made like 50 errors, and it's like obviously we're not going to get into like the whole overrated shortstop thing, but like he is like, but like yes, overrated shortstop defensively, yes, but at the same time too, it's not like. When defensive metrics also came in, he was starting to get old. There also that part of it too. But like, it's not. It's like, oh, he had 50-something errors, and look, Derek Jeter played shortstop for how long for the Yankees, right? It's like, okay, that doesn't mean everyone who has 50 errors in rookie ball is going to be able to play shortstop in the big leagues. Like, Like, it's not the case.
It's a different sport, but it's the same thing with football with quarterback. Anytime there's a quarterback that has a bad rookie year, everybody's always like, "Oh, Peyton Manning threw 26 interceptions his rookie year," and I'm like,
people are gonna start doing the whole Sam
that
Darnold
doesn't mean
comps
JJ
now.
McCarthy's good. JJ McCarthy sucks ass. That doesn't mean he's good. Like, stop
No,
it.
people are gonna start doing Sam Darnold comps. So look, Sam
Exactly.
Darnold was terrible with the Jets, but he won a Super Bowl. Like, dude, like, 6th-round pick of the quarterback. Brock Purdy's gonna be a Hall of Famer because Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick and Brock Purdy was Mr. Relevant. I'm not saying Brock Purdy's bad, but like, it doesn't mean anything. There's no correlation. like Justin Gonzales having the body type he does doesn't correlate to anything on the field except for the fact of his strike zone is bigger.
Yes.
And if he plays first base, the fielders have a bigger target to throw at. Or if it's in the outfield, he has a higher chance of reaching over a tall fence for robbing a homer. Like,
yes,
like it doesn't mean anything. Like, it doesn't correlate.
Yes, but with all we just said, with the strikeout rates and the whiffing and stuff, I also want to shut it down right now. Everybody, shut the hell up. If Justin Gonzales goes out there and strikes out 9-10 times his first week in Double-A, because he is 19 years old and he is going to go up against very good competition that is going to be, especially because pitchers in Double-A tend to be older, that are going to be like 6 years older than him. There's going to be 25, 26, 27, 28-year-old pitchers going up against him, throwing 98, 99, 100-mile-an-hour pitches with gross curveballs, gross changeups, whatever. Like, he's going to go up against competition he has never faced before. He's going to go up against people who have pitched in the major leagues. He's going to go up against like top prospects. He's going to go up against pitchers like Kate Anderson. Like, it's going to be insane, the level of competition that he's going to face.
Take Kate Anderson out of Double-A. Come on.
Bill Simmons is just like hate tweeting, begging them to call him up to the majors. Clearly,
he's
he
on
has
my
him on his fantasy
team, and I'm holding him. And I'm already playing down a roster spot because I'm carrying Alan Castro on my fantasy team. Because we don't have in the Red Sox podcast league, we don't have NA spots. We don't have an NA spot. It's IL or bench, and I'm carrying Alec. The second straight year of carrying Alec Castro on my team, and I also have Kate Anderson on my bench, and I'm now playing down 2 roster spots. And my starting pitchers, 3 of them are relievers who just so happen to have starter eligibility, so I can farm more points. I've got like Didier Fuentes starting every day as a starting pitcher, just to kind of to milk like a 3, 4, 5 points if he comes out and relieve. Or like who's the guy for the lefty for the Pirates? In the back end of their bullpen. Isn't it like Montgomery?
I have no idea.
Mason Montgomery. And then Bradley Rodriguez for the Padres. They have starter and reliever eligibility, so they're just sitting in starter spots for me. Just to like farm some extra points because I'm playing down 2 roster spots. I'm like, bro, I'm carrying Alec Castro. I have. You want a deep cut? I'm carrying Oslevis Basabe in my utility spot right now. Like 99% of baseball fans, unless you're a Giants fan right now, would be like, who? Also, former Rays prospect, I have a history with him. I'm not going to get into that, but like,
my hair is still wet. This is insane. I went for a run 2 hours ago, an hour and a half ago. My hair is still wet from getting caught in the rain. That's insane. Dude, I got drenched. I was like a half a mile from my house, and it just started downpouring.
Damn,
absurd.
Dude,
and it's like it just keeps dripping on me, and it's infuriating. It's really annoying me.
No, Hey, at least it wasn't. At least it wasn't further away. He got stuck in the rain. But the worst thing I have is my mom will text me. She's like, "Oh, it's raining in Florida." I'm like, "I don't care." I'm like, "I'm not there. You ain't seeing me getting caught in that tsunami rain." Like, hell no. Also, too, the other thing too, I guess speaking of weather, Justin Gonzales is gonna have to play in Portland down the stretch of the season. Bro gets to go from Greenville, South Carolina to Portland, Maine.
Yeah, he's going to be dealing with some cold weather.
Whew. Oh, and also too, like starting next season too, like just they while we're on the subject of weather, like can they like can Portland get like the first 3 weeks away from home?
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
either way, there's really not many places I think they'll play that it's
No, they'll
gonna
end up
be
playing.
like nice.
They'll play
But
they'll
yeah.
play in Portland for a week, and then because scheduling is dumb, they're gonna go play the Fisher Cats. So you go from Maine to New Hampshire. That ain't much better.
Yeah, I
Like-
feel like they could like go like I'm trying to think of teams, but like there's got to be like some teams in like Virginia or something they could be playing. I can't think of like the Portland schedule, but yeah, there's got to be someone they could be playing that's a little bit more south. Even if they're just playing like at least Reading is,
Just something
Pennsylvania.
that's not snowing. Like,
Yeah, go
can we
play
not
like
have
go play
snow out?
Richmond. Go play Richmond. That's in Virginia. That's that's south enough that it's gonna be maybe in the 60s or something. Like
Yeah,
it could be that could be in the 70s.
I mean, or Somerset.
My brother
The
lives
issue.
in
Here's the
like,
issue
right
in
by
the Eastern
Richmond.
League. The Eastern League, you have Binghamton in New York. You have the Yard Goats in Hartford, Connecticut. The Fisher Cats in Manchester, New Hampshire. Obviously, the Sea Dogs are in Portland. And then it's Reading and then Somerset in Reading and Pennsylvania and New Jersey for the Northeast Division. And then the Southwest Division, like they're beginning of the year, they're probably not going to send the Northeast Division teams out there. And it's Akron, Ohio, Altoona, Pennsylvania, Bowie, Maryland, Erie, Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and then Richmond, Virginia. But like those are all Southwest Division teams. So it screams to me that Portland's screwed at the beginning of the year because it's either Portland or a 1 in 4 chance. I'm sorry, not 3 and 5 chance of being in the Northeast between Binghamton, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, and Manchester, New Hampshire. like what are we? Like I'm not saying like move any of these teams, but like. We had to think of something smarter than putting a whole bunch of minor league teams where it's going to snow at the beginning of the season. Like, people say there's global warming, and I'm not denying global warming, but we say all this crap about global warming just for baseball games to get snowed out in the beginning of the season.
Known global warming denier and flat earthist, Derek McGuire.
That is not true. Go talk to Kyrie Irving if you want some flat earth stuff.
AJ Styles, Derek McGuire, flat earthers.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The one thing I will say though, I don't know, like you said, maybe can we get them to play somewhere else? Like play teams that are further south. Figure it out. I mean, not that you totally could do it, but like, is anyone using JetBlue Park at that point in the year? Like,
I mean, last year Worcester's first series was in Jacksonville.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they played the first weekend at home.
Okay, so it was the second series was in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. It was the second series.
Sunday
It was the second series. Yeah, you're right. It was.
But then again, like, it was also the first time they played Jacksonville in like 6 years or something.
Yeah.
Like, the entire time. It's the first time they went to Jacksonville was the Woo Sox. Like, it was the first time since they were the Paw Sox. The other thing too, like, just as we're getting way off track, but it's besides the point.
40 minutes in, we've only talked about Justin Gonzales.
Who cares? Whatever. The others can wait. There's not too much to talk about this week.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. No, but like I don't know, like can we figure something out? Like, and it's not just too like I mean, like Toronto's got a team in Buffalo. Like, you think they want to go to Buffalo at the start of the year? Like,
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to.
I mean, Worcester played in the snow this year.
Yeah.
They play in the snow every year.
Portland
plays in the snow every year at some point. Like, yeah. I feel bad. I feel bad for the guys who like come from Cali or like the Dominican Republic or something, and they spend the first couple years in like Salem and Greenville, and then like they start the year in Portland, and it's like, oh, your first week all your games are snowed out, and they have to be like, dude, what the hell is this, man?
You know, like they're like, no, you get Justin Gonzales like from the Dominican, like be like, has he seen snow? Like,
at least he'll get like a little used to it. Like he'll go like this stretch will like he'll go from like the hot weather to it start like it'll get slowly cooler, and then like by the end of the year it'll be like actually cold, and like he'll get a little bit of a transition.
Yeah,
like
and
that'll
even,
at
like,
least
September cold, not the same as like late March, early April.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough, man.
That's bad. Like also too, like I mean, what was the Hayden Mullins had that start earlier this year? That was just like good freaking luck.
Yeah, that was the one in the snow. Yeah,
yeah.
I think it was against the Twins AA team.
Yeah, it's like, but it's like, what are we doing here? Like, like what? Also, like, what's even the point of even? Why are we playing? Like,
yeah, like, there was no way anyone could grip the ball, man.
Yeah. Also, too, they don't let pitchers wear like white arm sleeves or anything like that. Yet you got white stuff falling from the sky, like, and like falling onto the ground and making everything white. Like, you know, I don't know. Like, seems kind of stupid to me that you play, you know, trying to avoid to like you have a white baseball. Now you have white snow on the ground, you know, unless you're going to let everyone's dog go out and pee on it to turn it yellow. Like, then that's just gross, you know. Like, now you're getting like the ball blending into the snow. Just good luck. Good luck. And also, good luck for the hitters. Also, good luck for the pitchers because they probably can't feel their fingers. They're trying to grip a curveball and you just like can't feel it, and you're just it's game over. Like I said, Hayden Mullins star is the perfect example, and it's killed like his ERA for the entire year. You know, that one stupid start that shouldn't have happened. Jake's gonna be so proud of us for this episode. We love you, Jake. He's gonna listen to this probably in like 2 or 3 days and just be like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" He's gonna be like, "What?" And I know that because he's now gonna message us and be like, "No, Derek, I was not thinking that, but now I am." And it's like, but as you mentioned this week, let's actually get into Greenville here. As you mentioned, Justin Gonzales had a pair of homers this week. Isaiah Jackson went off for 3 homers. And then Ronnie Hernandez, Yofer Rodriguez, also, they each had a homer each. I'll hand it back over to you, Hunter. I'm assuming we're going to get some Isaiah Jackson talk, considering the circumstances. 3 homers.
Yeah, just 4 hits on the week, but like you said, 3 of them were homers. 461 slug on the season, 15 doubles, 2 triples, 18 homers. He's got 59 RBIs. He's stolen 8 bases. Elite defense in the outfield. He's just been such a phenomenal addition for them. Obviously, he was the return for Vaughn Grisham, which thank God, because as Vaughn Grisham would tell you, he is just God's gift to Green Earth. He's the greatest player of all time. I don't know what
Nobody's
the Red Sox were doing.
Should have been an all-star.
Yeah, I don't know what the Red Sox were doing, not playing him every day and having him be the leadoff hitter, maybe the 2-hitter.
You should have been maybe should have been playing shortstop or something. I don't know.
Yeah, clearly it was just the nerds and the computers that weren't playing him. It's not like I mean, what does he have this year? Like a 340 WRC plus? It's got to be something like that.
Check the team you're playing for, Vaughn.
Yeah, I what does he have, like a 47
You have a team that
DRS
can't
plus 47
figure out-
DRS or something
You
like
can't.
that?
You have a team who can't figure out how to put a team around Mike Trout for what, over a decade now.
Like, he's a fine player.
You're a starter for the Angels. Oh my gosh.
He's
Try
a
not to
fine
crap on
player.
people, but like, this is a very fair crap on here.
He's
You're
a
on
fine
the
player.
Angels, dude.
He's a
I
fine
get
player.
you're a big
It
leaguer.
was such a weird.
I get you're a big leaguer, but like, you're barely a big leaguer. You're on the Angels, okay?
It was just such a weird, like, why are you acting like you're putting up prime Mike Trout to keep going with Mike Trout, prime Mike Trout numbers? Like, why was he like, yeah, I don't know what the Red Sox were doing, man? It's like, all right, you're having an okay season, dude.
Hey, at least Raffy, whenever he said like Raffy, like stuff happens with Raffy, it's like, well, Raffy was really freaking good.
Yeah. Did you see his home run the other day? Dude hit a home run into McCovey Cove on a pitch that was like at his ankles. Like, he's just funny, man.
It's typical Raffy.
But yeah,
but like at least when he does something boneheaded or like says something stupid or just anything comes out about him in general, it's like, well, at least he was really freaking good.
Like, yeah, it's like, all right, well, he'll back it up by hitting 30 home runs and driving.
Yeah, where it's just like, it's like Vaughn Grissom. It's like, bro, Chase Mydroth is better than you, and like, if it was up to you, you probably would have benched Chase Mydroth so you could play shortstop. Like, and also too, like, that's not me taking a shot at Chase Mydroth. That's more so me taking a shot at Vaughn Grissom, because I'm sure Vaughn Grissom would have wanted to play shortstop in Worcester. You know, and they were throwing Chase Mydroth over there, who was better in Worcester and is a better big leaguer as of now.
He's been phenomenal.
He has been. Very underrated too, because it's because of skill sets. You know, there's not a ton of pop.
Yeah, but yeah, Jackson's just been he just continuously has been really good for them. Just the 235 batting average doesn't really pop out at you, but he's hitting home runs. The stolen bases have gone up recently, and he's again just phenomenal defense. One of the better defensive players in the system. Again, that's one of the things the Red Sox do not lack for is elite defensive outfielders. Just elite defensive players in general. Honestly, they have a lot of really good defensive players in the system. And then Carlos Gutierrez just continues to impress me. 5 for 15, a double, 2 RBIs, 2 steals. The swing is just so pretty. You can really see like just the line drive. You could see what they saw in him and how they could definitely try to add some exit velo to it. 310 on base, or I'm sorry, 310 batting average, 420 on base. Since coming over to the organization, 4 steals since coming over to the organization. He scored 7 runs. He's been really good. Gerardo Rodriguez, 7 for 15 with 2 RBIs this week, walked 4 times, just 1 strikeout. Only 20 years old, solid, a really good defensive catcher. Nothing like super jumps out at you. 261 batting average, 341 on base, 368 slug. But like, this is a catcher who didn't really have like a great offensive profile. And he's played, I think he's hit a lot better than people probably would have expected him to do, considering starting the year in high A, I think was kind of a shock. So like, that's been really good to see. And then Antonio Anderson, just another good week for him. 5 for 16, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, a steal, 5 walks to just 3 strikeouts. He's up to 286, 385, 479, 15 doubles, 3 triples, 8 homers, driven in 40, scored 45. He's stolen 2 bases. I'm not going to keep talking about like the crazy turnaround he's had, because I feel like I've done that 45 times. So instead, what I'll do is I'll mention the 3 triples is already a career high. 15 doubles is 2 off a career high. 8 homers is 1 away from tying the total amount of home runs he had in his entire career. He had 9 home runs in the 3 seasons prior combined. 40 RBIs is 3 off a career high. 61 strikeouts is not even like, he had 111 last year. He had 122 the year before that. Like, he's striking out at a much lower rate. 35 walks is solid. He's always been good at walking. He's always been good at drawing walks. But he's walking at a much better rate than he did last year. He walked a ton in 2024. 2 steals, whatever. His career high is 3, but I'm not going to be like, oh, he's close to a career high in steals, whatever. It's 2. 45 runs scored is 8 off a career high, but like he's been doing everything. Again, the run lately has been insane. Anytime he comes up with a runner in scoring position, it's been like him and Justin Gonzales, where it's like, all right, the run's coming in. Like I'm just very sure that they're going to bring this run in. And he has been the best at bat in the Greenville lineup since June 11th. I think that's the date. I've said it so many times. I feel like that's the date. Anytime he comes up, it's like, okay, this is going to be an incredibly professional at bat. He doesn't have any like crazy standout tool. Like, I don't think there's any like 65 grade tool for Antonio Anderson. But everything is good, like he's a solid defender at first base. He's a decent defender at third. He's got a good arm. He's got decent power. The hit tool is really good, especially when adding in, like if you add in the eye, if you add in the patience, if you add in the ability to walk, it's like, okay, this becomes a really good hit tool. Like that's when it becomes above average. So it's just like, there's nothing that pops out to you, but when you add up like the sum of all the parts, it becomes really good. So it's like, he's not a prospect I think anyone would like drool over, because there's not like the big carrying tool, but I think he's someone that people really should pay attention to, just because he does everything. He does everything right. He does all the little things. He has professional at-bats. And it really seems like he's putting everything together at a really good time. He's still, I want to get this right, he's only 21 years old. He just turned 21 in June. And yeah, like this is a guy who has a good pedigree. Like he's a 3rd round pick in 2023. So it's not like he's just coming out of nowhere and it's like, oh, this is some Cinderella insanity type run. Like, no, this is someone who is highly touted, and is showing why he was highly touted.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else on the hit position by saying we're reaching the hour mark? Perfect. Try and keep this show on the road, sort of. Already an hour in, just getting to the pitching of the first level we're at. But hey, Greenville's pitching. I want to touch on Marcus Phillips. I was going to use this for a little bit of farm system frenzy, but considering we're already an hour in, yes, not. Marcus Phillips has the lowest. He's got the lowest fly ball rate among all pitchers in the Red Sox system with at least 30 innings pitched this year, and among starting pitchers, he's at the highest ground ball rate. The only guy with more than 30 innings pitched that has a higher ground ball rate than him, and it's by 0.1%, and it's Caleb Bolden, who obviously, pitching out of the bullpen. So Marcus Phillips basically has the highest ground ball rate and the lowest fly ball rate. Obviously, we know where the issues are with Marcus Phillips. Most time it's free base runners, right? And this week he went 4 innings, 3 hits, just the 1 run. He did walk 3, but he struck out 6. And I think that's one of those starts where, even with the 3 walks, it is an improvement, because we've seen him have starts this year where he has walked 7 or 8, right? So him doing that, and kind of being able to, relatively limit them. It's still, 3 walks and 4 innings is still, it's not none. But it's better than a lot of the starts he's made this year. And like I said, 4 innings, 1 run, you can't complain much about it. So he's really, really interesting. We know what the stuff is. We know, the strikeout potential is there. Yes, we know, the command isn't always there. but kind of considering, like I said, basically the highest ground ball rate in the organization and the lowest fly ball rate, which I know kind of correlate, but like not necessarily, just because on the sense of like you might not give up a lot of fly balls, but like you might just be giving up line drives, and so you're not giving up he's getting a lot of ground balls and he's limiting fly balls. Now, unfortunately, with limited fly balls, he's still giving up his fair share of homers this year. But you do have to wonder, too, how much of that, too, is also him having longer innings, potentially due to the walks. You see, like, with Marcus Phillips, I think you can really see, like, oh, like, if the command gets better, like, everything else is going to take a step forward, right? Because now you're having less long innings. Now you're giving up less free passes, so you're working less with runners on base. And everything kind of compounds. And he's got, like, a 330 BABIP against, which point to him potentially being unlucky. Now, obviously, too, like, he's walked a lot of guys. So it'd be, the BABIP would be lower if he cut some of those guys out instead of walking them. But like I said, right, I think you kind of look at that, too. Like I said, you can get the command with him, if you can work on the command with him, right? And it's not going to be an overnight thing. It never is with anyone, right? But if his command can improve, especially if we're looking towards like next year for Marcus Phillips, if that command can take a step forward, now you're looking at a guy who can get grounders, is going to limit fly balls, and like I said, has the strikeout stuff. We've talked, in the past a little bit about certain pitchers, if they don't work as a starter, they're going to work as a reliever because the stuff is nasty. Marcus Phillips is one of those guys, but if you can get him to work as a starter, the upside is there. There's a reason the Red Sox wanted him so badly in the draft last year. So when you kind of consider that and look big picture with him, obviously it's going to be a process. It's going to be a work in progress. We've known that, right? This isn't like some shock or anything. The guy was pretty much just a reliever in college for the most part, so it's not surprising that it has been a little bit of a work in progress, but that's okay, right? And like we always were trying to mention, development's not linear, but it truly isn't linear. And we've been blessed in some ways by the Tollies and Ianson earlier this year, and Kristian Campbell, Roman Anthony, et cetera, right? Franklin Arias this year too, but it doesn't. Even Arias last year in some sense as well. But we know not everyone's like that. It would, if everyone was like that, what would be the point of the minor leagues? If everyone can just fly through the minor leagues, then what's the point, right? There's a reason there's multiple different levels in the minor leagues. So you're taking, those are all steps up. And I know he hasn't gotten promoted yet or anything, but it shows that there has to be development, right? And it feels like a start like that, like this week's start for Marcus Phillips, is one where he can look at and go, I went 4 innings, I only let him run, I walked 3, but it wasn't the 7 or 8 that that he's walked in the past. He's still got 6 strikeouts, right? There's things you can take away from that, I think, if you're Marcus Phillips. And I think that's good because we've seen him have the ups and downs this year. Which is, like I said, totally fine, expected, right? It's the normal development process. You're going to have bumps in the road. You're going to have days where, it's different for position players than pitchers, because a starter like Marcus Phillips is only pitching once a week compared to a position player pitching, or hitting, multiple times a week. But, like, you're going to have weeks that are rough. You're going to have weeks that are great, right? Some weeks, Marcus Phillips could go out and, 5 shutout innings. Next week, you might only get 2 and you might get hit around, right? But it's the overall process of getting better. And, I think you can look at Marcus Phillips, this year, and especially kind of trying to project future-wise, even just to next year, and you can see where I said, if the command improves, like, I think everything for him gets better because now, like I said, less base runners, less high-stress innings, less pitches per inning, right? And now instead of him going 3 innings because he's already thrown 65 pitches, now maybe we're looking at 5 innings for him, right? And that if he starts going 5 innings, then that's a massive development for him, right? So it's things like that. It's not always this guy's got a 1 ERA and 8 starts at this level, right? Sometimes it's smaller things in that. And obviously, I think Marcus Phillips would tell you, he hasn't had the year, he would have wanted, especially when you consider, especially like a guy like Ianson starting at the same level as him. But also, this is a guy who was rumored to start the year in Salem. And they put him in Greenville because they're like, oh, you're close with Kyson Witherspoon and Anthony Ianson. We don't really want to break you three of you guys up if you guys are all close. They ended up breaking them up anyways mid-season.
I was going to say, yeah, the irony is that they did it anyway.
Yeah. The bigger kind of funny thing would have been if all three of them were in the Adley trade at that point. Hey, they didn't want to break them up. Look, they didn't break them up. But no, like they ended up breaking them up with the Adley trade. But like it was also too, like I said, we thought he was starting the year in Salem. We didn't think he was starting the year in Greenville. And Salem's very different than Greenville. Greenville, you get a lot of guys who've come out of college, whatnot. Guys, especially like from the draft year before. So like Phillips obviously being drafted in 25, making us, for having his first full pro season in 26. A lot of those guys are more likely to start the year in high A. Not as many of them typically will start in Salem, right? So the level of competition is higher. And then also too, if it's not those college guys who are starting the year in high A, it's guys who have already been through low A, single A, whatever we call it. I still call it low A just because it differentiates. But now instead of starting in Salem, pitching at that level in getting to Greenville through his pitching, and it's not saying he didn't deserve to be in Greenville, but at the beginning of the year, but it is, he's now skipped that level, right? And for a guy who in some ways, I'm not saying was a project in the sense of there's like, but like it wasn't, like I said, he wasn't a starter in college that much. He was mostly a reliever. You knew there were going to be things to work on with him, right? And he kind of missed one of those developmental levels in a way, in some sense. So I'm on the Marcus Phillips train, also kind of have to. Also, too, speaking of, I guess that kind of trio, especially like because Ianson got done with it. Can we stop trading friends of the show? Like, what? Craig, just knock it off. Like, we always joke, oh, the past report bump. You come on the show, you get a bump. Yeah, you might get traded in like 2 years, in a year or two. Come on the show though. Beware, I guess. Beware. But no, in all seriousness though, back to Marcus Phillips. No, like I said, there's a couple things that get better for him, and even worst case scenario, maybe the command doesn't improve a ton, right? The stuff plate is going to play in the bullpen, bare minimum, right? So, let's go for the Marcus Phillips ride. Also, too, because they traded our pitching prospects that we typically always spend all our time on, which in some ways is good in the sense of it's fresh, it's something new. But and obviously, like a guy like Delzine obviously has been kind of the big news. Didn't have the greatest start this week, but like, now like you look at kind of prospect rankings, you look at the pitching side of things, went from, oh, look at Ianson and Witherspoon was only a first round pick last year to it's like, oh, now both those guys are gone, and Tolley's in the big leagues and Bennett's in the big leagues, and which is nothing wrong. You want those guys in the big leagues, obviously, and it's like, well, Valera's hurt, and you're kind of running out of guys a little bit in a sense, in the terms of like those kind of high end prospects. Like I said, especially with like Tolley and Bennett, like you're not going to complain that they're not prospects, they're in the big leagues, right? Ianson and Witherspoon go, but like they're two big pieces that got a guy who, when healthy, is very much can make an argument for being the best catcher in baseball. Like, and that's a position where the Red Sox have not been. When's the last time the Red Sox had a catcher that's even remotely close to being as good as Adley Rutschman? Like, it's been a long time. What? Like, it's been a long time. So, and that's also part of developing prospects too. We don't like when they get traded in the sense of it sucks for us having to talk about the minor leagues all the time, but like, You develop prospects for one of two things: either to create big leaguers for your own team, or to move them to get big leaguers. Right? You either turn them into big leaguers, hopefully, or they become assets to get you a big leaguer. And that's what you're trying to do with prospects. So in that sense, it does suck in some ways. We've lost all the, well, not all, like the quote unquote big name, Tolley, Bennett, right? Ianson, Witherspoon, they're all out of the prospect pool because, like I mentioned, 2 big leaguers now for the Red Sox to get you Adley Rutschman. It happens though, right? And it creates, I guess, the rest of this year too. It also, we get to talk about other people, right? Delzine, obviously, with his call up, has been someone we talked about a lot. But like, we also too, in some, like, obviously, we'll get to like some of the levels, but like Holobetz and Wehunt are both in Worcester now. Like, Bastardo and Paez have been like guys that now people are being like, I mean, Paez obviously just got to Worcester, but like, or like Bastardo, someone where people are like, maybe the Red Sox might need him. Bullpen's getting a little bit thin. So it gives us a chance to also talk about other people now too, which, not saying we couldn't, but like, we don't have to every week touch on Anthony Ianson because he's not in the Red Sox system anymore, because it was like every week 5-6 innings, no runs, 1 run. Can't not talk about that. I don't know how much else was there, Hunter. I know Dylan Brown had a good 3 inning start. Not really his fault. I don't know if you want to touch on that.
I mean, yeah. There was a rain delay, so he ended up only getting the 3 innings, and then Alex Bouchard came in. But Dylan Brown looked pretty sharp. It's a shame because I'm pretty sure he struggled his last time out, so it was a chance for him to have a good bounce back start, and he kind of got his legs taken out from under him there. But really not many other good outings for Greenville this week. But outside of that, no, there's really not much to talk about, and we are at an hour and 12 minutes, so probably good for us to move on to Portland here. But I'm assuming we should start again on the hitting because there really wasn't much to talk about pitching wise.
Real quick,
oh, yeah.
I think this is just the gods telling me I'm never going to get to see Ketel Marte play because
he did not get DFA'd.
No, but
okay.
Like he's on the he's on the.
Did you see that though? Hector Gomez tweeted that he got DFA'd.
Yeah. No, I saw the D-backs tweet. I didn't see the Hector Gomez tweet.
The D-backs tweeted that they put him on the restricted list, and Hector Gomez tweeted that they DFA'd him.
Oh my god!
And everybody's like, "Buddy, they put him on the restricted list."
Oh god! No, but when the D-backs were in Boston in 24, I was like, "Oh, buy tickets in advance. I'm gonna get to go see Ketel." And then Ketel got hurt like the week before. And I was holding out hope. It's like, maybe I'll go. We'll see. And he's not playing this. He's not playing now. He's not like now. Next time the D-backs aren't in Boston again until 2028, barring I don't know how a lot if they don't play in 27. I don't know how that affect the scheduling for 28, but they're technically not even scheduled to come back to Boston until 2020. At this point, I think it's just I might just be cursed. Literally, like, can I see Ketel Marte play, please? And like,
I love Ketel Marte, man. Huge Ketel Marte fan. I'd love it if they actually did DFA him and the Red Sox somehow scooped him up, but
sure, you know what? Me too. Actually,
the issue is if they did DFA him, the fucking Dodgers would somehow get him. It'd be terrible. It would be terrible. Somehow the Dodgers would get him.
Oh, like I don't want to be like I don't want to be crazy, but like it would be the most like it would just be the most like baseball thing of like oh, you're just showing up the Fenway, and then it's just like, and it just randomly pops into the dugout in like the 7th inning or something, and it's just like, oh, I'm here, like I overslept, and it's like, buddy, you're on the restricted list, like, Press starts getting on the phone, like, hey, y'all don't want him, if y'all want to release him, put him on waivers, we're okay taking the contract. You know what? Why not? Yeah. Curse Mead comes back. He can play third. I guess Durbin can play shortstop, right? Like it can't be that bad.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Can't go that badly. But no, I think I'm cursed. So Alan Castro doesn't play well when I go to Worcester. But come on. What did I do? Who made the baseball gods hate me?
But Henry Godbout, 2 for 18 with 2 RBIs, a steal. Obviously not a great week, but it was his first week in Double-A, so it was his first Double-A hit. Did get his first 2 Double-A RBIs. Johan Fran Garcia just 1 for 15, but he did hit a home run. Yoelan Cespedes 5 for 16, so it was a good week for him. He hit his first Double-A home run, got his first Double-A RBI, got his first Double-A steal. Brooks Brannon 7 for 16. He hit 4 doubles. He had a home run. Miguel Blaze went 4 for 13 with a double and a home run, 2 RBIs. Jack Winnay 7 for 20 with a pair of doubles, pair of homers. Nelly Taylor just 2 for 11, but he hit 2 home runs, led the team with 6 RBIs. And then Nate Baez went 6 for 13 with a double, 4 RBIs. And then he actually walked 3 times, just struck out twice. And then he actually did get promoted to AAA today. So I'm assuming that's kind of to make room for Gonzales. Baez is a catcher / first baseman. So I could see Gonzales playing
kind of use the catcher, I guess.
And also I could see
got bumped up to the big league team. So
I could see I could see Gonzales playing a couple games of first a week. I think he's only played 8 games of first this year, but it's been slightly recently. And maybe they give him like 1 to, or maybe like 2 a week now. And Brooks Brannon plays there the rest of the week / DHing. I'm a little surprised it wasn't Brannon over Baez. They still have Garcia and Rosario, but I just feel like Brannon has had the better bat for most of the year. But Baez is older, which might have played a little bit of a factor. Baez this was a very good, it's been a good month for him. He really struggled in July, but he's hitting 370 with an OPS over 850 in July. So this has been a really good month for him.
Yeah.
But it was good to see Nelly Taylor. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm also too realizing Worcester actually does kind of need a catcher. They have Juan Montero on the active roster right now. Apparently per Sox prospects. So as I'm looking right now, it's Jason DeLay and then it's Juan Montero and that's it.
Oh wow.
That's all they got for catchers.
All right. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Because Adley, not Adley, with Gasper getting moved up.
Yeah.
It's just it's always something.
But it was good to see Nelly Taylor, even though it was just the 2 hits. It was good to see him tap into the power a little bit. 2 straight games with a homer. He's still hitting under 200, but he's flirting with 200 now. The defense has still been there all year. A really good week for Brooks Brannon. What I'm excited about is just the big meaty men slapping meat, man. We made the joke the other week. This lineup's freaking huge, man. Like Henry Godbout's not a slouch. Brooks Brannon isn't like super tall, but that dude's just a brick shit house. Miguel Blaze is a pretty big dude. Jack Winnay's freaking huge. Ronald Rosario's big. And then Johan Fran Garcia, again, not like super tall, but just a massive dude. And then you're adding Justin Gonzales to the mix. Like this is just a tall ass team, a big team, burly team. So like it's just like it is going to be an intimidating lineup. So I'm excited for that. And then it'll be funny to have like all these big dudes and then like Abram Liendo and Yohan Cespedes being like 5'6", 5'7". So that'll be kind of funny to have them just kind of there. Like I go back to like whenever Yohan Cespedes or like Stanley Tucker would hit a home run and celebrate with Justin Gonzales, and it was just funny to see the size difference. But yeah, it's just a absurdly massive team getting Justin Gonzales thrown into the mix. I'm a big fan of the intimidation factor that will be added. And I mean the offense has been up and down recently with Franklin Arias gone. This was a very good week for them. Obviously, one of the better hitters was Nate Baez, who 462 batting average, 529 on base this week. Obviously, he's gone. But you have a lot of guys. You know, Miguel Blaze has been very good lately. Jack Winnay's been great since being called up. This was Cespedes' best week since being called up. Hopefully, he's finding his footing. And then like you're adding, this was Godbout's first week. But like he'll figure it out. He's very good. And now you're adding Justin Gonzales to the mix. Like Portland's offense should be very exciting for the rest of the year. So not just the big factor, but just this should be a very good offense for the remainder of the season.
Absolutely. And we went from like at times this year being like Franklin Arias and then who? Yeah. Right. To now kind of assortment of, you know, some really good baseball players. Also too, what was it? What? So I'll just read the kind of homer. Brannon, Winnay, Taylor, Blaze, Cespedes, McDonough, and Garcia. That's 7 guys who hit homers this week for Portland. And obviously Winnay and Nelly Taylor both had a pair of homers. So what, 9 homers this week for Portland? The bats are going. The other thing too, also if we want to real quick talk about luck, I'm terribly unlucky. Just because I'm so unlucky, I guess Kyle Harrison's lucky. He just had his ERA drop back to sub-3 because he had 5 of his earned runs changed to unearned. How lucky! To be fair, they were totally not deserved earned runs. They absolutely should have been unearned. But like, God, everyone's getting lucky. Well, I guess the D-backs aren't getting lucky. You know, I guess is that. But hey, you know, it is what it is. I guess. Regardless, anything else on the sorry. Okay, cool. Pitching side of things. This is where the fun comes. Abram Liendo getting on the mound. Scoreless inning. 1 inning, just 1 hit, no runs, did walk 1. 4 unfortunate no strikeouts. Also Nelly Taylor got an out on the mound too. Outside of that, that's it.
Yeah, basically.
Not a great week for pitching.
Caleb Bolden was solid, 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs. None of them were earned, but he did give up a homer, but none of them were earned. 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. Devin Futrell, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, no walks. He did hit someone. Hayden Mullins, 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned, 8 strikeouts. He did walk 4. That's always kind of just going to be the Hayden Mullins thing. Stephen Brooks, 4 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, neither earned though. Struck out 4, didn't walk anyone, but he did hit someone. So just like a weird week for the Portland pitchers. Like a couple guys gave up some runs that weren't earned. A couple guys hit some people. But yeah, like no big standout performances, but a couple like decent performances. Yeah, it was we talked about it before the show, but there was no like crazy pitching performances this week.
Yeah, and with that, time to go to Worcester. There's your Portland pitching. Worcester, we did a couple things. First of all, Trevor Story is rehabbing now. Apparently wants to be back with the Red Sox quickly. Well, we'll see how that all goes, just because as much as I personally, like Trevor Story and he seems like a nice person, I also don't know how much I can trust him coming back on, just a short rehab stint, considering, unfortunately, the injury history with him, and the streakiness as well, more so the streakiness. But it does also play a role in kind of the biggest storyline of the year for the Red Sox in terms of the minor leagues, and it's Franklin Arias. Obviously, there's starting to be some clamoring for Arias to be the big league shortstop. Once again, I feel like we have to be, in some ways, a little bit the bearer of bad news, but also, slow your roll, people. There's no rush. He went 7 for 22 this week with a double and a homer. It's not like he had a bad week at all. 318, 385, 500 slug, 885 OPS for the week. It's a solid week. 3 walks. He did strike out 6 times. His strikeout rate has jumped up since going to AAA. I think it's jumped up to like 21%, which still is not bad. But like when he had like a 13% strikeout rate in AA, right? So it is it's up more than 50%, albeit small sample size in Worcester, and it is a jump up in competition as well, right? He's still, like I said, he's still hitting for average, right? He's hitting, I think it was 297 in Worcester in all, right? But there's no rush, right? You don't want to rush him just for the sake of rushing him. I've spent basically, not just this year, but even last year in some ways, kind of being like, oh, it feels similar to Bogart in terms of like he's just really good at a lot of things. It doesn't really have like a true weakness, and in some ways, like that is true, but also too, I'm also said Bogart's this year. Bogart's age 20 season was 2013, and he ended up on the playoff roster, right, and got some big league time in September. Not saying that's gonna happen to Arias, but like the thing with Bogart's was they didn't just call him up for the sake of calling him up. Like they had Steven Drew and Will Middlebrooks on the left side of the infield. It's not like they like had a black hole they needed to replace, right? They called him up because they're like, we think you're ready. Arias is going to do the same thing. If they think he's ready, they're going to call him up. But there's no rush to it, right? There's no, and also too, they're only calling him up if they absolutely think he's their best shortstop in the organization. They're not going to call him up just because they think he might be, or maybe he will be. Like they don't. If he gets called up, it's because they truly believe he's the best option they have. So like in that sense, I guess too, also kind of like some of the clamoring for it. Like I get it, but at the same time too, it's also not going to do anything. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Like if we come out every episode and say, "Oh, we want to get Frank Lawrence to the big leagues," like it's not going to do anything. It's just going to be us begging for it, basically. Which, don't get me wrong, it'd be super cool to see Arias get to play in the big leagues this year. It'd be cool, but like I said, there's no need to rush it just for the sake of rushing it. Like, and I think that's the thing. And the Red Sox will know when he's ready. They know more than we do. We can see that he's hitting 300 or whatever, whatever the batting average is for the year, right? But that also doesn't tell the full. Yeah, we can go to TJ Sachs and look up some of the stuff. But like this is even like compared, like everyone thinks they can go to Baseball Savant for a big league player and be like, oh, I know all the stuff on them. I can go to Baseball Savant and see all the stuff. Sorry, buddy, big league teams get way more info than you do. Sorry, but they do way more info than you got.
Yeah. Good.
So if anyone knows if he's ready or not, it is the Red Sox, right? So, like I said, there's no rushing it just for the sake of rushing it, and to me, maybe some people in baseball, maybe fans would influence their decision. Doesn't feel like Craig Breslau's the type of guy. Doesn't feel like
it. Yeah, I get it. Like, it was another good week for Franklin Arias. 7 for 22, a double, a homer, 5 RBIs, scored 6 runs. He looks good in the field. Like it's just he's hitting the ball hard. Even his outs are loud. He tends to just do cool things. He tends to do cool things at good times. One of his hits came like on the day where the Red Sox played an early game, and it was like, oh, now Worcester's playing when the Red Sox aren't on. And I don't remember if it was like an RBI double or the home run or whatever it was, but it was like, oh, the Red Sox aren't playing, so now people are paying more attention to the Worcester game, and oh, look at that, Franklin Arias hits a home. I'll just say it was the home run. I don't remember, but look at that, Franklin Arias hits the home run, and now people are talking about that. I mean, it wouldn't matter even if the Red Sox were playing; people would still be talking about it. But and like obviously, there's just the situation of the Red Sox didn't trade for a shortstop, so like people are going to talk about it regardless. So like I get it. I get the fans want, and I get the frustration, and I get the excitement. But I think like I don't want to say the nail in the coffin, because I do think there's still like a small percentage chance that it happens. But I think like the beginning of the nail in the coffin was like the announcement that Trevor Story plans to come back on Friday and that the Red Sox plan to have him be the shortstop. Like that to me was them saying like, this is the plan. Like that kind of tells you that they don't want Franklin Arias up this year. And it's like they have Trevor Story there. They have Z there. You know, they have Zhang Shei Chang. They have Romy Gonzales, who hit 348 this week. He's striking out a little bit too much right now, but like he's hitting the ball hard again. Like he looked very comfortable this week. Like they have people who have played in the majors already this year, like not just people with major league experience, but like people who've played in the majors this year who can play shortstop, who can play second base. Like they have people ready-made to contribute in the majors who have contributed this year. Like even Romy Gonzales, who struggled, did have some moments. You know, Z looked very good at shortstop this year. He especially struggled this week. He went 0 for 9. But like the numbers in AAA aren't like great. I think he's hitting like 230 something. And like even in the majors, like even when he like even though the numbers are decent, like anyone who watched him could probably tell you like he's probably not going to contribute that much offensively. It's like a lot of soft hit balls that are just kind of like finding a hole. But like he's a very good defensive shortstop, which is like the Andrew Monasterio had a very nice play earlier today, but like that's kind of been the issue with him. And it's like, would it be really cool to see Franklin Arias? Absolutely. And I, again, don't think it's impossible, but I think the Red Sox view it more as like the nuclear option of like, maybe there's a couple injuries or just like, holy hell, everything is going wrong.
It's also them abandoning Trevor Story as well.
Yes.
Because like as much as we hate, they'll be like, you know, as much as people will be like, why? It don't matter. It's like, yeah, it doesn't matter because he's a veteran presence in that clubhouse. He's one of the longest tenure guys on the team, especially on the position player side. Now, I will say though, let's also say he is under contract for another year. Not that like you can't work your ways around that, but still, like it's tough to force a vet to the side where, in all honesty, too, realize, you know, the big league team, you know, with how much, you know, people have been screaming for Duran to be gone and the big league team sticking by his side and him being him being a locker room presence, like, what do you think happens if like Trevor Story's in a similar boat? Like, you can't tell me that there aren't guys on that Red Sox team that are looking at Trevor Story coming back and like, oh, we got Trevor Story coming back. Like,
yes and no. One, there were the whole reports of like the Red Sox front office didn't believe in Trevor Story at the start of the year even. So like there is that. So I do think if Trevor Story comes back and just like sucks ass for 2 weeks, I do think that there are people in the front office that would be like,
that is true, but I'm also talking about the players is what I'm talking about. Like,
yes, but they've been without him for months. Like, do you really think Anthony Siegler gives a shit about Trevor Story? He has no relationship with Trevor Story. Wilson Contreras has no relationship. Like, Wilson Contreras doesn't know Trevor Story. They were in the same locker room for like a month. He doesn't know Trevor Story. Like, yeah, Duran is good friends with him. Sadon Raphael has been in the same locker room for a while. Connor Wong, but like Adley Rutschman doesn't know who he is. He's never been in the same locker room.
That's true.
Eric Miller doesn't know who he is. Jake Bennett doesn't know who he is. Peyton Tolley barely knows him. Like there's a lot of guys on the team that I don't think would be like that move. Like Caleb Durbin doesn't really know him. Like I think there's a lot of guys on the team that would probably like, yeah, he is a veteran and probably well respected, but I feel like there's probably a lot of guys who aren't as moved by like, oh my God, it's Trevor Story, then there are guys that are like, oh my God, we need Trevor Story back.
Well, I don't think they need Trevor Story back, but I think they realize like you get Trevor Story that the Trevor Story that can go on a heater.
Yes, and I do agree with that, and I do. I'm not one of the people that doesn't think he should get a chance at all. But like again, like Andrew Monasterio, he doesn't have a relationship with him, and he's one of the people that he kind of might be replacing. I mean, it'll be more him replacing Nick Sogard and Siegler, but like he might be taking some playing time from Monasterio, and it's like, should Monasterio be losing any playing time? But anyway, this is very off the point. They have,
it all affects Arias though.
Yes, that was the point. They have a lot of different options, and I don't know if Franklin Arias is seen as anything other than like the nuclear option, which would be Trevor Story comes back and is just goes like 0 for 30 and is the worst defensive player of all time, or just gets hurt again. And then
shoulder falls off,
and they call up Z, and it doesn't get a hit. And they call up Mikey Romero, and he doesn't get a hit. And they call up Kristian Campbell, and they're like, "Oh, go play shortstop," and he doesn't get a hit. Well, I think they would call up Arias before him, but they call up Romy Gonzales, and he doesn't do it. Like I genuinely think that they would burn through Romy and Story and maybe Chang. Maybe he would get called up before Chang, but I do think Story and Gonzales would be options before Franklin. Maybe he would get called up before Gonzales in certain situations.
If it's because they absolutely need a shortstop, that
yes, like
something happens to Monasterio and Story's like just complete ass, then like
it would be like in a very specific situation. Like where they really feel like they need like that kind of a spark. So like again, I don't think it's impossible.
And the whole like, not that they would put him in the leadoff spot because they wouldn't, but like the Red Sox don't have a leadoff hitter thing is about to be null if like
with Roman Anthony potentially coming back. Yeah,
that's all that whole argument too. Like not that it's an argument, but like the whole idea of well, they don't really have a leadoff hitter, so maybe Franklin Arias can do it, but that's not going to mean anything in like 2 weeks.
Yes. And
also,
I do
shout
think
out Roman Anthony, like he literally is like the one thing the Red Sox just don't have, and it's a leadoff hitter.
Yeah,
it is hilarious.
And as much as some people like to pretend like it doesn't matter to not as much as some of the people in the fan base like to pretend like people in the front office probably don't care and they care more about winning. I guarantee you a lot of people in the front office are saying we don't want to burn through a year of Franklin Arias just for a couple, like just for 20 games of him this year for a team that run was really cool. And now they're a playoff team, but in reality, they're still just 9 games over 500 and the offense has been struggling again. And like realistically, I would love it if they won the World Series, but like realistically, is this team beating the Milwaukee Brewers? Is this team beating the Los Angeles Dodgers?
Go on and run in the postseason, like, which I mean is very like, believable.
It's possible, but it's like now you're burning through Franklin Arias's a year of Franklin Arias.
You have to believe he could be a difference maker in the postseason.
Yes, to bank on, you're banking on 20-year-old Franklin Arias to be really good right away. Like, what if he comes up and struggles and it's like shit? We just burned through a year of service time, and now if there's a lockout next year.
Also,
we're screwed.
Who knows what the CBA is going to look like?
Yeah,
like they very much,
exactly.
They could come in the CBA this offseason, and maybe there's a lockout, but maybe it doesn't go into next season. And part of the CBA is like, oh well, if you debuted, we're just going to count. We're counting it as a full year now.
Yeah,
and it's like, what? But
like
retroactive,
I do think that that whole situation is very much playing through their head of, do we want to risk this, not knowing what could happen, and like, this team's been fun and we're happy we're back in the playoff race and everything, but it's just, you're really banking on a 20-year-old who started the year in Double-A, where people
also when
didn't
you might
view
not
him
have
as
to as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're
Like, you don't, like, you might not need him. Like,
people can hate Trevor Story as much as they want. If you can get 75% of what Trevor Story was last year offensively, you'd be more than happy. Like, this is a guy who hit 25 homers and stole 30 bases last year. Like, get some kind of production from him, and you got
be
something.
the shortstop version of Jackie Bradley Jr. when he gets on a hot stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Just go. I don't care if you're cold for 2 weeks. Get on that heater in September and ride it into the postseason.
Yeah,
like,
and I think that's what the Red Sox are thinking too. Like they have Franklin Arias be your opening day shortstop next year. And again, I think it would be so cool if he got called up this year, and it would be fun, and we would be super jacked up about it and everything. But I think the Red Sox are being a little bit more conservative about it and thinking, maybe we don't burn through the option if we don't have to. We, like, again, that's nuclear option number 3. That's the way I do it. Not to bring down the vibe of everybody wanting to see him up.
I think it's more so too. Like I said, like the thing is, like, you have Story, and like Story is a veteran. Like, Story's, like, I know he hasn't been an All-Star in a while, but like, he's a former All-Star. He's a guy who last year, like, was one of your better players over the course of the season. And as much as people are like, as much as the whole Story thing is like, I feel like his struggles earlier maybe a little bit overblown. We don't know how hurt he may or may not have been early in the year. Like, people act like he's made of glass. Like, as much as as much as I love Tristan Casas might be made of glass. Trevor Story's not made of glass. He might be close, but he's not there yet. And I think too, just because Story's not the type of guy where he's gonna come in and he'll give you 250, but like nothing less, nothing more. Like, Story might hit 200. He might hit 190. He also might come in and hit 350 the rest of the year with 10 homers. Like, we don't know. Like,
it should be said, he had his first rehab game on Sunday. He went 1 for 2 with a single. Got taken out, and he was supposed to play 5 innings. He only played 4 because Worcester was getting absolutely shellacked. And the innings were taking very long, and I think they were just like, all right, we don't want you out there for 4 hours. So he only played 4 innings. But
they're like, go hit the showers, buddy.
Yeah. We don't need you. Like, we wanted you to play 5 innings. We didn't want you to play 5 hours. So we're good.
They're like, nah. They're like, pitch. Even the pitch clock ain't saving this.
Yeah. And then they said he was going to play Tuesday and Wednesday, and then see how he felt. And the plan, as of right now, is for him to be back at playing for the Red Sox on Friday, which is crazy. I thought he was.
I feel like I'm like a little bit
like
more runway than that.
Yeah,
but
so
I mean,
he must be feeling good, man.
Back, what was it, in 23 when he was hurt? Was it 24? Was the dislocated shoulder? Which year was this? Like,
I think 23. I think 23.
Yeah, when they're like, he was going to be out all year, and then he just pops back up in September. Like, hey guys,
yeah.
Like,
again, love him. Like, you can hate, you can not like his game all you want. You do have to respect the dude's a gamer. Like, he does want to be out there. He just gets hurt all the time, but he always wants to be out there.
That is true. That is absolutely true. Shout out Trevor Story. Also, too, I guess I feel like we briefly mentioned, but Kristian Campbell just continuing to kind of.
Yeah, 5 for 16 with 4 doubles this week, man. Like, he's not hitting homers, but he's hitting the freaking piss out of the ball, man. Everything's 100-something miles an hour.
It's such a nice sight.
Dude, the bat speed is insane.
It's up like several miles per hour as well.
It is
visible.
You genuinely can't blink. Like, it's incredible. It's very visible how much his bat speed has. I think it was Ian Kundle posted his like, he posted like the side view, and it's so incredible to see the difference between his batting stance, like the difference between like how open his stance is from April to now, and also the bat speed. It's the changes he's made, dude. It's incredible. It's such a beautiful sight.
It is. And I think, you know what's even...
I don't
what's
care.
even
I'll
crazy-
say it. He's so freaking back. He's so freaking
no.
back.
What's even crazier? I don't even think he's fully back to that like 24 version of himself either yet. Like he's still getting there. Like in terms of the bat, I think he's still getting there. That's the thing.
He'll be there.
Oh no, he will. But absolutely.
I'm so happy.
It's like he's doing all this now, and there's still some things he's struggling with a little bit, or he'll still have some bad moments, right? Like wait till we get Kristian Campbell back to being full blown Kristian Campbell, right? Like
I'm so happy. I went on Down on the Farm with Coley and Milliken a couple months ago, like when he was like at his absolute worst, and they asked me like concern levels of Kristian Campbell, and I still said I was at like a 5. I still wouldn't give like 10. And this was when he was hitting like 203 and like striking out a ton. And I was still like, I can't do it, man. I was like, this is still a guy who's a year removed from being the best prospect in baseball. And he was the minor league MVP. And I was like, they were tweaking everything. And I was like, I was like, and I admitted, I was like, the concern has gone up, but like, I still can't fully commit to being concerned. And I'm so proud that I wouldn't fully commit to being concerned, because now it's 2 months later, and it's like there were people online that were like, dude, he might be cooked. And now those same people are like, call him up, man. What are we doing? Why is he not helping this team right now?
Like, Arias.
It's so fun. It is. I'm so happy, because I used to dread posting a video of him, because he would hit like an opposite field homer, or even sometimes it would admittedly be like a bloop single for an RBI. And I would genuinely be like, I'm not going to post this, because I'll post it and people will be like, oh, it's a 70-mile an RBI single. What a loser. He should die. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to bring him hate. And this sucks, because he's the nicest dude in the world. And now everyone, it's just like Demon Home. This is my favorite person. I love him. Oh my God, he's so back. It's just, it makes me so freaking happy, man. I'm so happy.
It's great. No,
it's so happy.
It's great, and I think too, like I said too, like this isn't even like this isn't even like he's not even fully at where they probably would like him to be either. He's still growing, right? And he's still getting back to. They're still working on things with him, and that's too what makes it so promising, because he's doing it now, and there's definitely been a clear improvement and a clear difference. But even then, it's still not even fully there yet. Like, it's almost like in some ways, wait till I want to see spring training next year, man. Like I want to see spring training next year. I want to get me back to Kristian. My only question with Kristian Campbell, and is just at this point more than anything for me, because this year, especially like this run as the late, makes me feel like it's like okay, okay, let's see what spring training looks like. But I there is a little bit of me that like I know they want to keep him in the outfield, because it's one less thing for him to worry about while they're doing all this stuff with the swing, especially when they were really tinkering with things. And he's not going to be on the big league team this year. Let's just be honest. Like he's not there. It is a long-term play with him. Right. And I mean, look at Jordan Walker, they're not, when I say there's no rush to Campbell, it's different than an Arias no rush. Arias, there's no point in rushing him to the big leagues just for rushing to the big leagues. With Campbell, there's legitimately no rush in the sense of even if you needed him, I don't think you do it. Like you are playing long term. Unless every infielder or outfielder gets injured, and you're running down on guys on the 40-man that are reasonable, or just guys in general that are reasonable, there's no point in doing it, because like I said, this is a long-term play with Kristian Campbell. This is not he's had a really good couple of months, so let's see if it works against big league pitching. This is like I said, this is a process, and we always talk about development not being linear, and Kristian Campbell, right now is like living proof of it. But to me, I feel like this is one of those things with Campbell. It's like, just let him be in Worcester the rest of the year, right? Let him do what he's doing. Let him continue to work on things. Let them continue to tinker as needed. And then come into spring training next year ready to rock and roll. Right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have. I thought there was a semi decent chance he'd get called up before Roman Anthony started progressing as well as he did. And now with Roman Anthony like seemingly being back in a week or two, I think that it's gone down to like a 2% chance. I still don't think it's completely impossible. It's more contingent on people getting injured and stuff than anything else. But I do feel like if they did need another outfielder, I feel like he would be the better choice between anyone else.
I just think the issue is like they have Jaron, you got Sadon, you got Willier, Roman's coming back. You got Eli White, Jemai Jones. Like
they have a million outfielders. Yes.
Yeah, and I know Massa got hurt, but like Massa was a guy too where it's like, I mean, like God forbid if you got to the scenario where you like, I mean, you could stick Massa in left. God forbid you get to that point, right?
But so like, I'm saying if they need an outfielder, though, I think he would.
A lot of things would need to happen.
Be the first option. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of things would need to happen at that point because even then, too, like Nate Eaton's in Worcester and
Nate Eaton's been very good since getting sent back down. But I feel like he's played good enough at this point that they would have to at least consider him as the first option. Like I truly believe he's been that good.
I just think, like I said, I don't see a world where you get to the point where you need him. Just
yes, they do have like 7 options right now where they are very loaded
too,
in the
like
outfield. Yeah,
especially with Roman too. It's like okay, like where, and also too like he hasn't really done like it's like he hasn't really done it much, so it's not like. I'm not expecting them to do it, but like Nick Sogard can play some outfield in a pinch. Like hasn't done it like a ton this year, but like actually I don't even has he played the outfield this year?
I don't think so.
I don't think it, but like in a pinch, like if it's like a week, if it's like something where a week you need him to play like a game or two in the outfield.
Like, yes, but like this late in the season, if they needed an outfielder, I don't think they would be like, "Hey, guy hasn't played the outfield all year."
Short term, not long term. You're not going to call Kristian Campbell up for 5 to 7 days.
Probably not. Yeah,
like,
but if I mean, yeah. At that point, if you knew it was just going to be like 5 days, at that point you'd call up somebody to not burn an option.
Yeah,
but
it'd be Nate Ian or it'd be like I said, like you know, or let's say it's like. I don't know. Jaron's got something going on with like, I don't know. Jaron's got a blister or something, and like for whatever reason, like something's happened to like Eli White and like Jemai Jones is who knows where. It's like you can throw Nick Sogard out there and like not be like totally like, oh my god, we don't have a third outfielder. Like. More so that case, like especially if it was something that's like, oh, you need an outfielder for someone who can at least play outfield for a couple of days because our starter, you know, like I said, Jaron ends up with like a blister or something, or who knows what, right? And then you're not going to put him on the injured list. He might only be out a blister. I don't know how long a blister. Actually, blister could be longer, but like the point is, if it's only a few days, and you maybe need the guy to play outfield one time, maybe 2 at the most, you're not going to go call up Kristian Campbell. If it's something where they haven't, but even then, like I said, you're getting Roman in a couple weeks. Like at that point, they have 4 starting caliber outfielders, regardless of how Jarren Duran's played this year. He started basically every damn game. That's not like so. Like you still have 4 for 3, 4 outfielders for 3 spots. That's the issue with Campbell, and they don't. It wouldn't make sense for them to start playing him in the infield now. And kind of like I said, they've been with all the stuff going on with the swing and whatnot. Very much feels like they just kind of want to, they kind of just want to keep him in the outfield, not put as much of a load on him defensively, and just let him focus on the hitting stuff, right? Because Brian Abraham not just on just a bunch of different shows, also came on to this show and talked about Kristian Campbell's defense at second base.
Yeah.
And so,
and then they didn't play him there at all.
which I do think a lot of it has to do with the whole swing changes, right? Let's not focus on 50 different things at a time, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's figure out the bat first, and once we have the bat figured out, then we can worry about defense, right? Because the thing with Kristian Campbell, like, it doesn't matter how good the defense is at second base if the bat's not like the bat is like. There's a reason there were people calling him the best prospect they've ever seen, and it wasn't the second base defense; it was the bat.
Yeah,
right. I mean, when multiple scouts call you the best prospect they've ever seen, and literally every baseball player ever at one point was a prospect. like, do we not remember when like Byron Buxton was a prospect? Like, come on, like, and people are saying Kristian Campbell's better than that. I'm not saying Kristian Campbell was or wasn't. I'm just saying, like, when Byron Buxton was a prospect, the guy was like the most surefire number one prospect ever, probably. And people are like, and there are some scouts who are like, yeah, but Kristian Campbell's better prospect than that. And it's like, like it's not because Kristian Campbell's going to be this gold level second baseman. It's the bat. The bat is what gets you to that point, because it doesn't matter how good you are defensively. If you can't hit, you're, I don't know who's a good, like, just a really good shortstop who doesn't hit.
Andrelton Simmons.
Yeah, you're Andrelton Simmons, which a really good MLB player, but like can't hit. Unfortunately. I mean, guy was a demon defensively though. We should probably touch on the pitching side of things in Worcester. I don't know how much we want to touch on.
Nathan Hickey. Nathan Hickey went 2 for 4 with a triple and 3 RBIs, and he threw as many innings as he had RBIs. That's what we should talk about. Man threw 3 innings on the mound. That's awesome.
We need to figure out a way to make sure Icky gets him his innings, so he can
only needs 9 more.
I know. I mean, start throwing him out there, man. Like, let's get him out there. Come on.
Actually, though, Jedickson Paez, 3 1/3 shutout innings, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, just 1 walk, because of course it's Jedickson Paez. He's not going to walk people in his AAA debut. The big news, he hit 94. He maxed out at 94.2 miles per hour on his fastball. That's a massive development, considering just 2 years ago, it was big news when he was hitting 90 miles an hour on his fastball. So like he's up multiple ticks. And you could say that it's like, oh, it's his AAA debut. I mean, he's made his major league debut already. So is he really like jacked up for his AAA debut? I don't know, maybe a little bit, but like, I think he's just like, we've seen the steady increases over the last couple of years for him on the velo. I think that this is just, I mean, I'm not saying he's always going to be hitting
96, 97.
I'm not saying he's always going to be hitting 94.
Hey, if he comes out throwing 96, 97 next year, the pitching lab the White Sox pitching lab might have surpassed the Rays at that point.
Yeah, it might be the greatest.
If Jedickson Paez comes out throwing 96, 97,
I mean, with his command, if he can just be a steady 93 guy, 90, even if he can sit 94, but if he can just be a 93 guy with the command he has and with the really strong secondaries, like, this is a very good major league pitcher. And it's like, again, I get what the White Sox were thinking, but the guy hadn't pitched above high A. Like it just was, he was not ready for the major leagues. When they tried to take him in the Rule 5 draft. He needed more seasoning. Again, I see the vision. They either kind of had to eat it and have him be really bad and just kind of hope he developed for a while being really bad in the majors, or they had to just not pull the trigger. But luckily they gave up very quickly they realized that it was a bad idea. And the Red Sox got him back very quickly, and they got to immediately start developing him in Double-A. And yeah, he's now in Triple-A. He's very close to the majors. Legitimate shot that he debuts for the Red Sox at some point this year. It's just the command is absurd. He just does not walk people. Hold on, let me pull it up. In 49 innings this year, he had 56 strikeouts compared to just 5 walks in Double-A, and then obviously the 3 1/3 innings, five strikeouts, 1 walk. So in 52 1/3 innings, 61 strikeouts, 6 walks. That's bananas. He had in 96 2/3 innings last year, he had 113 strikeouts and just 12 walks. So it's not like this is just some like brand new thing. Like it's just it's the reason the White Sox were so intrigued. They like the dude's command is off the charts. And like with the increased velocity, it's just this is a very real pitching prospect that just has not been talked about enough over the years because the velocity has never really been a big thing for him. So he's just never been like the sexiest prospect. Like people aren't going to get up for the guy throwing 91, they're like him next to the guy throwing 102. Like who's going to get talked about, but he's always posted. He's always been awesome. The numbers have always been really good. And he's done the same thing this year, and now he's in AAA. He's a couple miles from Fenway, and I would not be shocked if we see him this year. If not, I wouldn't be shocked if he's fighting for a spot on the opening day roster next year.
His baseball reference page is going to end up looking so weird. If he like just stays with the Red Sox org and makes his big league debut with the Red Sox, it's literally going to be Red Sox, everything in the Red Sox minor league system, 1 game for the White Sox in the big leagues, and then everything in the Red Sox minor league system again, and then potentially Red Sox big leagues.
If he ends up having a good career, like to the point where he's like a known person, that will be a very good like trivia question. Like a very good random like obviously if he's like unknown, it won't be a good trivia question because people will be like, who the hell's Jetixon Paez? But if he's like a known player, that'll be one that stumps a lot of people because people are like,
we
obviously
say that
the Red Sox.
Not known, but like among Red Sox fans, like we haven't like Red Sox fans having this affinity for prospects who don't make it to the big leagues. Like people's like the amount of people who just talk about like Trey Ball still, like, or like Ryan Westmoreland, or hell, I mean, they made the like Michael.
Those are
Bowden
for two different
like,
reasons, though. Like people like Ryan Westmoreland because it's like, damn, that sucks. Like he was supposed to be good, and that was just tragic. Yes. And then people more like make fun of Trey Ball because it was like, damn, he just sucked. Like,
no, I know, but more so what I'm saying is like people in like you could literally just be like someone in the Red Sox system, and like depending on your circumstances or what happens, like you're just gonna be a name that Red Sox fans like might not even follow prospects, and it's just gonna be a name.
Yeah,
right?
They wake him up
and
like
the amount of people talk about Ryan Westmoreland. How many of them do we really think if they saw him in a store could probably point him out? Like,
okay.
That's more like you get so I mean, don't get me wrong, like I probably couldn't, but that's because I'm terrible at remembering faces. Like literally, I legitimately have to look for like certain feet. Like whenever I'm in Worcester, like for example, like the one thing for me is like I know Mikey Romero's face because we've had him on the pod 3 times. But like when I'm looking for Mikey Romero, I don't look for his face. I look for his tattoo sleeve. Like I'm not looking for faces. Like Mickey Gasper, obviously, like another, but like the mustache is like the dead giveaway, right? Like those are like that's an obvious one, but like it's an example. Like especially too, like if like for like certain pitchers too, it's like if they're like warming up or whatnot, it's like oh, like I can recognize this guy based on like how he's throwing in the bullpen, but like I cannot tell his face from more than 5 feet away. but like for me, even like for me, like I have my guys like Michael Bowden, Aaron Bates, Dustin Richardson, but that's also too because he kind of links to Roman Anthony, which is kind of fun. There's also like Yamiko Navarro is like, just throw that one out there. Like more so guys who reach the big leagues, but still like the point still stands. Red Sox fans love their they love their random prospects who did make it to the big leagues. I know, like I said, Trey Ball and Ryan Westmoreland, and more so like the big names of that grouping that everyone brings up. Like I mentioned, the amount of people who talk about them and probably couldn't recognize them in like a store if they walked by them, that's kind of my point. Regardless, I don't really think there's anything else on the pitching side of things. It's kind of meh. So we got Salem left. So Salem this week, they had 5 home runs. Franklin Primera, Andrew Zapata, Andrew Musset, Claver Salazar, and Wills McGinnis were the home runs. Actually, here's a good one. Teddy Stankiewicz. There's another name that people like to bring up sometimes.
Stank on you.
Yeah. There's just random names. This is like people love to bring up for who knows what reason. I honestly, I don't even know. Like as much as I personally was a fan of Devin Marrero, the amount of times I see his name brought up is way more than it should be.
I mean, to be fair, he does like Red Sox post-game stuff now. So,
well, now, but even like as of like 2 or 3 years ago, it's like, don't worry, I love Devin Marrero as much as the next guy does, but like, even I will say, okay, maybe a little bit much. And then I say all this, and I'm going to be the guy in like 30 years like, oh, you remember Alan Castro? Yo, back in my day, there was this guy in Worcester. We tell my grandkids about Alan Castro. But no, Franklin Primera. He had 9 hits this week, had a week-long cycle. 5 walks, just 1 strikeout, also stole a base. I mean, outside of, I guess, hitting more home runs, like, is there, like, what else can we ask for with him? Like, there's nothing to complain about his week. Like, I don't think I could pick a negative thing about his week.
Yeah.
One of those weeks where it's just like everything's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to do a quick rundown. I'm just going to start off by saying absolutely nothing to talk about on the pitching side. Pitching was just kind of there this week. Jose Brito, 4 for 15, 2 doubles, RBI. It was his major league debut this week. Underperformed a little bit in the FCL this season. He wasn't bad, but just like after such a big showing in the DSL last year, but it was good first week for him in Salem. Andrew Musset, 4 for 12. 2 doubles, homer, 6 RBIs, walked once, didn't strike out. Claver Salazar, 6 for 18, double, triple, homer, 4 RBIs. Andrew Zapata, 5 for 14, triple, double, 4 RBIs, and a steal. Wills McGinnis made his single A debut, 3 for 15, hit a homer, 2 RBIs, 2 steals, walked 4 times, just struck out twice. Colton Coates also made his single A debut, 2 for 16, RBI, 2 walks. Both of them are 2026 draft picks. And then Anderson Fermin, 4 for 8 with a double, didn't strike out. Just wanted to throw all those guys out there because now I plan on just gushing about Franklin Primera. Like you said, 9 for 19, 5 walks, just the 1 strikeout. 333 batting average, 474 on base, 509 slug in 31 games since getting promoted to single A. 19 walks to just 17 strikeouts at the level. If we're counting the FCL this year, so between the FCL and single A, he has 41 walks and just 30 strikeouts. He has a 511 on base percentage. He has a 611 slug. So that is a 1,122 OPS. This isn't human. He's 19 years old. He's a catcher. Like those aren't numbers you should be putting up. I know we've talked about how like the FCL is kind of like a Looney Tune, like not real level. Like you're going up against people who just like are never even going to get to single A. But like still, like he's also just putting up bananas numbers in single A. He's doing it at a premier position. He's a very strong defensive catcher. He has a phenomenal arm. He did good pop times, good plate blocker. Like everything that we've heard about him behind the plate seems to be really good. Good plate discipline, good power, or good pop for the position. there's literally nothing to say about him that doesn't scream like potential generational catcher, like potential franchise catcher. Like this is the heir apparent to Adley Rutschman. It's just, to me, there were like 4 true untouchables at the trade deadline, and I'm very happy that they all were kept untouchable. It was Franklin Arias, Justin Gonzales, Franklin Primera, and Sadbiel Delzine, and they were all untouched. And it's just the Red Sox haven't had a franchise catcher, I guess, since Jason Varitek, really. And I mean, like now they obviously they traded for Adley Rutschman, but it's like, okay, you traded for him when he's 28. He'll be 29 at the start of next season. He's only under contract until the end of next season. Obviously, the hope is that you sign him to an extension, but it's like this is a guy who's had multiple injuries over the last 2 seasons. The lifespan of a catcher, already isn't usually the shelf life of a catcher already usually isn't the longest. And then a guy with multiple injuries over the last couple seasons, like realistically, how long is he going to stick behind the plate? And it's like, and now there's just this very clear vision for me of, 2030, maybe 2031, but like, I'm going to say 2030, Franklin Primera is getting called up to the majors and splitting time with Adley Rutschman behind the plate. And then 2031, it's like, okay, now it's Franklin Primera's position and Adley Rutschman's taking a back seat. And then 2032, it's just, this is Franklin Primera's team, and it's just, it's a lot to put on a 19-year-old's plate. It's a lot to tell people to expect this of him. But it's just like, again, he just screams franchise catcher. There's so few holes in his game. Like, obviously, he's a catcher. You're not expecting him to, be fast. You're not expecting him to hit 40 home runs a season. But like, again, he has good power for the position. He has such good bat to ball skills. He doesn't whiff a ton. The contact is there. The defense, it's all there. And getting to watch him, like I never like to rank prospects. I never like to give opinions on prospects before I watch them. So I don't really talk about them much until they get to single A. And I've now watched him for 31 games, and it was, even when he struggled the first week in single A, like numbers wise, it was the quickest, like, all right, he's already in my top 10 I've ever seen. Like, it was just like, oh, this guy is clearly very good, like, even though the numbers weren't there. And then within another week, it was like, okay, this guy's clearly top 5. And now it's like, okay, this is like the most obvious number 3 in the system. And it's like, if it wasn't for the fact that there were 2 generational prospects in front of him in Justin Gonzales and Franklin Arias, like this is another top 100 prospect. Like I would not be shocked if he was top 100 by the end of the season. Franklin Primera is very special.
Yeah, absolutely. As Wilson Contreras say, homer catcher decides to, smack a homer. Yeah, Primera's been so much fun. It's tough a little bit sometimes, being in Salem, with him being in Salem, and it's like, okay, it's like, we like, you obviously, like, you can like, as I mentioned the term like dreaming on prospects before. You can absolutely dream on Primera, but him being in Salem, starting the year of Salem, it is sometimes hard to like imagine at times. Like, it's like, where does development go with him? Because like, in some ways, it's like, you wonder, it's like, okay, where's he going to hit that roadblock, right? Because most prospects hit a roadblock at some point, right? And a roadblock doesn't have to be massive, right? Maybe Primera next year, gets to Greenville or Portland or whatever, and maybe he struggles for, 3 weeks or so, right? that it doesn't mean like he's going to go and just be terrible for 3 months. It's not what a roadblock means. I mean, it could, right? But like more so, what I mean is like, it's extremely rare to see a guy just be smooth straight through the minors into the big leagues, no issues, right? And so in that sense, like there is a little bit of me that wonders with Kamara. It's like, okay, now, and it's also a little bit the excitement of having a guy, at 19 years old who's in Salem and has been so good. Where like I like it, that the challenges that he's gonna hit almost excite me in a way because if he's going to live up to potential like that kind of hype / ceiling / what we're dreaming on for him, he's going to have to overcome those challenges. So there's for me in some ways there's some excitement to be like, okay, what's going to be Franklin Pereira's challenge, right? What's going to be the thing that he has to overcome? Because whatever it is, like I'm excited to see it, right? I'm excited to see him, eventually, whenever it is, get that move up to Greenville. Probably not this year, obviously, but like get into Greenville for the first time and, see how that plays out. And then get to Portland for the first time, right? And then eventually, hopefully, get to Worcester, get to the big leagues, right? How does this game develop, right? What is he? I mean, considering the Red Sox have Adley behind the plate right now, that's one of the best defensive catchers, if not the best defensive catcher in baseball, right? And so if you're, battling with the guy, like hypothetically, if he ends up getting to the big leagues, Adley's still there and Adley's best defensive catcher, that's a hurdle he's going to have to climb, right? But it's also exciting because if he shoots past that hurdle, right, like that means he's going to be really damn good, right? And so it's more so like for me, like I almost want to see, it's like, okay, like for example, like, yeah, he has the 9-hit week this week, but what's going to be that step where it's, not as smooth sailing. I don't want to bring up any names, but we've seen prospects, as much hype as, and this isn't just White Sox prospects, it's just in general, right? We've seen prospects with all the hype in the world, and they get to a level and they just can't crack it, right? We also see guys get to a level, and they struggle, but they figure it out, right? And the great ones figure it out, right? It's not smooth sailing for everyone. It never is. It's never perfect smooth sailing. Hell, even Mike Trout wasn't smooth sailing his first run. Aaron Judge did not have a good first stint in the big leagues. Right? But like also look at Aaron Judge now. Like look at Mike Trout, right? Look at the career he's had. Look at, whole bunch of players who have struggled. Everyone struggles, right, at times. So like I said, it's gonna be exciting to see what kind of challenges Pereira faces and see him, overcome those. I don't really have much else, Hunter. You all good?
Yep, I'm good.
I do want to quickly just throw a little shout out. Bobby Dahlbeck at 20 homers in Japan.
Hell yeah.
He's hit the 20 homer mark. So shout out. So just for the record, he's hitting 262 with a 329 on base and a 479 slug for a 141 weighted runs created plus with the Yomiuri Giants. He is striking out 32% of the time. It's also Bobby Dahlbeck. You know what comes with him, right? But it's nice to see him have a really good year in Japan. I actually wouldn't be for him. I'd love to see him stay over there. He's been great, and also too potential lockout incoming. Stay in Japan for 27. He's having a really great year there. Why not, right? It'd be cool to get to see him come back to the big leagues and hopefully do well. It'd be cool. Like I know, like speaking of guys who've gone over, Michael Chavis is another one. Although Chavis didn't really have that much success in Japan, but Chavis played a little bit in Japan last year too. So doesn't seem like big league success is really in his future, unfortunately. But that kind of range of Red Sox prospect. That was the Dahlbeck Chavis era of Red Sox prospects. Thankfully, are behind us. But it's always cool to see former Red Sox guys playing well, regardless of where it is. So shout out Bobby Dahlbeck for 20 homers in Japan. Not an easy thing to do considering the dead ball situation over there too. Any final thoughts, Hunter? Perfect.
Nope, I'm good.
Reminder, if you're still listening, starting next week, Hunter and I, we will be recording on Tuesdays. So the episode will be either up later Tuesday in the day, Tuesday like late afternoon, evening, kind of around dinner time maybe. Or if not, then it'll be Wednesday mornings at the latest. So just stay tuned for that. And as always, thanks for tuning in to the Pesky Report. My name is Derek. I'm here with Hunter. You're brought to you by Beyond the Monster and TJ Stats. And as always, we will see you next time.
Like this is called the Pesky Report. Like